The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Good afternoon and welcome to all of you. Thank you for tuning in while Boston University's Financial Planning Program Director, Carolynn Tomin, shares the career opportunities, benefits, and resources available to you as you journey through your financial planning vocation. My name is Sarah, and I will be moderating today's session alongside our host, Carolynn. Carolynn has a wealth of knowledge and experience in the financial planning industry, as having served as chair on the CFP Board's Council on Education and co-authoring the Principles of Estate Planning textbook. Carolynn joins us today to speak to the need for financial advisors and CFP professionals in today's dynamic workforce. Thank you, Carolynn.
And thank you very much, Sarah. Hi, everyone, and welcome to our session today on careers in financial planning. I want to thank you so much for joining us. So let's get going. All right, I'd like to begin by telling you a little bit about that working as a financial planner is a really very rewarding career. And I have some statistics that I'd like to use to show you why. First of all, U.S. News and World Report puts out information about the different professions, and one of them, of course, is being financial advisors. So here's some of their rankings for 2018. They found that financial advisors is ranked as 37th in their list of 100 best jobs. And I have to tell you something, I've been watching this list for many years, and it has always been a top-ranking position for the past 15 to 20 years. The unemployment rate for financial advisors is only 1.5%, obviously a very low percentage point. And also the projected growth rate through the year 2026 is 15%. And you might be wondering, well, how can they even project that at this point in time? And that's really because of baby boomers right now who are in need of retirement planning advice, and they're looking for financial planners in record numbers. So this is something that's been documented, and they're able to project that growth rate. Now, the Department of Labor has forecasts for financial advisors too. They found that 4 to 5 times more job growth is going to be forecasted than the national average for all occupations through 2022. So you may be wondering what's driving this growth in the financial planning profession. Well, I think one of the reasons for this is because CFP Board, which is the entity, if you will, that oversees all financial planners, CFP financial planners, they've had a marketing campaign in place for the past several years now. And you may have even seen some of their commercials and radio spots. And what they do is they're targeting a mass affluent population. So this media campaign has actually helped to increase consumer awareness of CFP practitioners and the benefits of financial planning. And they have, the CFP Board measures statistics and growth rates and things of that nature, and they have found that this campaign is working. It's getting out to the people who are potentially those who want to have the benefits of financial planning, and that is helping to sort of drive the growth in our field. Now, I want you to know that CFP Board also does some surveys of their own too. And they have found out that 90% of CFP professionals said that they're either satisfied or highly satisfied with their career choice. And I want to tell you some of the skills that are needed to be successful as a financial planner. And these would include, first of all, counseling and communication skills. And it's especially the ability to listen to clients and to understand their needs and their financial and personal goals. The second skills set that is needed would be building trusting relationships. This really comes from truly understanding your clients' needs and even their fears and their wishes for their future, for themselves and also for their families, and showing empathy for these clients as they struggle to meet their goals and to deal with life setbacks and also some achievements. And another set of skills that are needed too is the ability to educate clients. This is being able to educate them about the ways to improve their financial situation. Now, financial planners need to explain difficult financial and economic concepts to their clients in terms that the clients can actually understand. So if clients understand and embrace your financial planning recommendations, they're more likely to achieve them. And I think watching our clients achieve their financial and personal goals is the reason why you see this number of 90% of financial planners say they're very satisfied with their career choice. Now, this is also a great time for women and minorities to consider entering the financial planning field since they're underrepresented in this profession. 31% of women are represented as in the United States as financial advisors. But there's only 23% of women are CFP professionals. Well, this is such a low figure that you would think, oh, well, in this day and age, that figure is going to be changing. Well, unfortunately, I have to tell you that this figure has not changed at all in the past 25 years that I've been in the CFP profession. And clearly what's needed is that more women right now, more than ever, are needed to work with clients and the clients' families. So I just want to point out to all of you that with these low numbers, the CFP board is concerned about the fact that we're not attracting more women and more diversity within our population of CFP professionals. And so they are taking lots of different steps right now to change that. So we have something called the Center for Financial Planning. That's something that the CFP board has set up. And they have one specific goal, which is to build the 21st century financial planning workforce that is more diverse and sustainable. And I want you also to be aware of the fact that the BU program supports the CFP board's efforts to improve diversity in our profession. And we do that by teaming up with the CFP board and also with one of our professional organizations, which is called the Financial Planning Association, or the FPA. And what we do is we offer mentoring services to our students. So I want to encourage you to go to the center's website, and you can see their diversity initiatives that they have in place that are expected to help grow this profession. They have lots of resources there. They have white papers on their diversity initiative. There's a lot of information that will show you the board's commitment to really changing these statistics for our profession and to attract more women and minorities into our field. Now, let's talk about the career opportunities that are available for you too, because I want you to be aware that the CFP credential is highly respected and recognized as the gold standard in financial planning throughout the world. So it's not just here in the United States, this is a worldwide recognized credential. Now, in the United States, there's so many different types of firms that will hire CFP professionals, and we've put them up here so that you can consider some of the different opportunities that you would have once you get your CFP to work in all these different fields. First of all, we've got financial planning firms, and we'll talk about that in a second. There are also brokerage firms that want to hire CFPs, mutual fund companies, things like family offices. If you're not familiar with what a family office is, it's really a group of professionals who provide financial, tax, and legal services generally to a wealthy family. And so they usually have financial planners on board. Insurance companies also respect the CFP credential. In the insurance industry, there are two credentials that are often used. There's something called CLU and another one which is CHFC. And so these are the two prominent credentials in the insurance field. But what's interesting about these two credentials is that their curriculum parallels the CFP board's curriculum, so that the CFP certification is very well known and valued by the insurance industry. And so for those of you with CFPs who would like to work in the insurance field, that is also a credential you have that will be highly regarded in the insurance field. You could also go to banks, especially the trust departments in banks, because CFPs can get involved in portfolio management and income tax planning and also financial planning for the bank's clients. Even accounting firms will hire CFPs. There's so many CPAs that will also go and get their CFP in order to offer financial services to their clients in addition to their tax preparation services. And so they know the benefit of CFPs and oftentimes will ask financial planners to join their firm to help provide these additional services and to help their companies grow. Even human resources is a place where you can go and work if you have your CFP. One of the things in our CFP curriculum is that one of the major subject areas is called retirement planning. And so retirement planning and employee benefits is something that all of us as financial planners have to learn about as we go through the CFP education program. And knowing information about retirement planning and employee benefits is of great value to many companies. And so it can be really useful for human resource managers to also have their CFP credential. Another area we've put up here too is nonprofit organizations. You know, charitable planning is also a major part of the financial planning curriculum. And financial planning and certified financial planners, these are all really an integral part of working with nonprofit organizations, because the CFP credential is really considered a valued credential in the nonprofit field. And again, it's working with clients, and in this case, when you're working with nonprofit organizations, you're working with potential donors to help them make the right decisions for their charitable goals and to meet their family legacies, and also to work with them to meet their needs and goals. So it's very much related to the financial planning profession. We've even put academia up here as a place where you could go to work once you have your CFP credential, because there are many opportunities in academia once you get your CFP for teaching CFP courses. Right now, there are about 350 schools in the United States that offer programs. You could get involved in doing research in academia and also contributing content to CFP programs and writing textbooks. So as you can see, there's different avenues that you can pursue also once you have your CFP through academia. And I'm even just going to throw in one more thing for you to consider too. If you're involved in journalism, if you have a career in journalism, that is something that also now counts towards your CFP experience. So that would even be another avenue potentially to be able to write about financial planning issues once you get your CFP. And of course, we want you to be aware of the fact that you could be working for financial planning firms. So the firms that we're talking about here could range anywhere from the large institutional firms to the small independent boutique firms. And I want you to be aware too that if you're looking to work in financial planning firms, you should also take a look at the type of firm that they are, not just whether they're bigger firms or smaller firms, but also like what are their different compensation models? Are they a fee-only financial planning firm? Are they a commission-based firm? Are they a fee-based firm? In other words, this will really tell you a lot about the company. For example, if you work for a fee-only firm, then what you're going to be doing is charging clients a percentage of the assets that you are managing for them. So this is how you would be compensated. So I just want you to be aware of the fact that there are different types of firms, different types of compensation models. These are all things for you to explore. Another situation here too is that retiring practitioners are looking for planners to train to take over their practices. And this really makes a lot of sense when you think about it, because the financial planning profession itself is really less than 50 years old. So it was certified financial planners who got their certification a long time ago and started creating all these successful financial planning practices that are all throughout the country today. Well, as time has gone on, these people have aged and they're looking to retire. And so what they're looking for now is they want to hire new employees that can potentially take over their business when they're ready to completely retire. Another thing that you might want to look into doing is you might want to start your own financial planning practice. And that may seem, but I want you also to be aware that there's many resources available to you to help you do that. First of all, there's one thing called the Garrett Planning Network. If you are interested in having your own practice as a fee-only financial planner, then you might want to take a look at the Garrett Planning Network and find out all about that turnkey operation. For those of you who are millennials, you might want to check out the XY Planning Network. This is also a fee-only financial planning network for certified financial planners, and that will help you start your own financial planning practice. And then there's so many other ways that you can get mentoring and support. And I would want you to be aware of the fact that the Financial Planning Association, the FPA, and also another national organization called NAPFA, NAPFA, that's the National Association of Personal Financial Advisors. They're more the fee-only group. They are also available to help you with putting mentoring in place and helping you learn all the ins and outs in setting up your own financial planning practice. Another thing that you might want to consider is buying an existing practice, because there are brokers out there right now who are selling these retirement people to buy practices through brokers. And if you think, oh, how would I be able to afford something like that? There are many different ways that you can do that by paying it off through installment sales and as you operate the business over time. So anyway, just a bunch of different avenues for you to pursue if you're looking at moving into financial planning firms in the future. Okay, one of the things that I'd like to talk to you about are the advantages of getting your CFP certification. And so the CFP board has put some surveys together, and here's what they have revealed. Number one is that 76% of CFP practitioners said that CFP certification contributed directly to their professional success. So those of you who are already working in the field and are wondering whether or not you should opt for CFP certification, I want you to take a look at that statistic. 76% said it contributed to their professional success. Also, this is impressive too. 64% of CFP practitioners said that becoming a CFP professional had a positive impact on their income. And also, it's not just CFP board survey that found this, because many other studies are out there too that would support this finding, that CFP certification provides a greater earning potential for you than those who do not have their CFP certification. All right, so let's talk about compensation for this field, because that's what a lot of people have in mind. You know, how lucrative is this career? It's a rewarding career, but is it something that can also support me in my lifestyle? So let's take a look at where some of these statistics are coming from. U.S. News and World Report for 2018 has said that the median salary for a financial advisor is $90,530. So remember that as being a median salary. That means there's a lot of people making less as junior planners and those who are experienced making more. Indeed.com has also found that the average salary in the Boston area is $82,268. So again, these are two statistics that will give you a median range of salaries as a financial planner. Now, there's also a company called the IKE in the Boston area, and they did a survey in 2012. even though it's in 2012, I think this is still very relevant information for you. First of all, solo practitioners with their CFP certification produce 40 to 100% more revenue than solo advisors without CFP certification. Also, solo advisors with less than 10 years experience, 17% with CFP certification earn more than $215,000 versus 8% without CFP certification. Now remember, this was even back in 2012. So again, these were the figures of earning a benchmark of $215,000, which may be even higher today. So I'd like to compare that with some other information from the IKE Group study for 2016, which is shown here on this slide. For CFP professionals, they found that 26% earn more than other advisors adjusted for their years of experience. And also, 70% of CFP professionals believe that CFP certification has a positive impact on client trust and confidence. The IKE Group also found that practices with CFP professionals that 40% generate more revenue than firms without CFP professionals. And also that practices with CFP professionals attract 53% more of the ultra and high net worth clients than firms without CFP professionals. So again, these are all positive information here, positive statistics to show that the earnings are greater and that the firms themselves are more valuable with the help of CFP practitioners working in the firms. All right, so we know it's a really great profession. We know that there are many different areas that you can work in once you get your CFP. We know the compensation is solid. We know that you're going to be able to distinguish yourself from other advisors by getting your CFP. Well, the next slide is going to show you here that what we really need in our field is more CFP practitioners, because look at these statistics too. Cerulli did a study in 2015. They forecasted that 1 in 6 advisors are planning to retire in the next 10 years. Well, that goes along with what I was telling you, that people right now are in the position where they're desperately looking to bring in some new hires into their firm so that they can train them the way they want to train them to take over the clients that they've had for a long time. So again, there is that business succession planning that is going on in our field right now. Also, U.S. News found that 39,300 new financial advisor positions are needed on top of the already number of current financial advisors we have in this country, which are 271,900. So 40,000 new financial planner positions are really needed. And this statistic will really tell you why. There are more financial advisors over the age of 70 than under the age of 30. Isn't that astounding? I mean, when you think about it, how many professions would the ages be so skewed like this? So, you know, what I can certainly take away from this is that this is really a great profession for millennials to consider. Also, the Center for Financial Planning, they have a campaign that's out right now. It's called I Am a CFP Pro, and it's really designed to attract younger people to the financial planning profession because the need is so great. So I would like to encourage all of you to go to the CFP Board's website, take a look at the Center for Financial Planning, and take a look at their campaign. They have a couple of short videos on there which are really interesting by younger individuals who are coming into our field, and they talk about themselves, the benefit of getting a CFP and what it means to them and how it is helping them in their career. The other reason why we need CFP practitioners is because we only have 80,000 professionals in the United States. That is certainly not enough to meet the public demand for financial advice, especially as we mentioned earlier, with the baby boomers retiring and needing more retirement information. This is continuing to grow. And so this is really a very good time for people to get into this field now and to start your education. Okay, the next slide talks about information from a CFP board survey that was conducted in 2015. The CFP board found from the public. They found that consumer use of financial advisors has increased from 28% to 40% in the last 5 years. Well, not only is the demand for growth there, but as you can see, it's happening because consumers, when they find out more about financial planners and the financial planning profession, they realize that taking care of their own personal finances is too complex and they want it done right by professionals. And so we've seen this huge increase in the number of use of financial advisors in just the last 5 years. And of course, based on some of these statistics that we've talked about, that's still expected to grow. The next one is 7 out of 10 consumers report that they work with a CFP professional. Well, 7 out of 10 leaves room for the rest of the 30% who are not working with financial advisors now and will realize that that is something that they need to do. So again, the demand is there to get into the financial planning profession. CFP board also found that the public said that 87% of them said that they were very satisfied working with a CFP professional. And that's not a statistic that surprises me, because again, when you're working with clients, you're helping them meet their financial and personal goals. And that is not only rewarding for you as a financial planner in choosing this career, but your clients will understand the value of what you are doing for them, and they'll continue to stay with you and build those trusted relationships. They will be your referral source for your practices. They will bring in family. They will bring in friends because they're very satisfied that they're working with a CFP professional. And that's versus 72% who work with advisors without certification. So as you can see, the satisfaction level working with a CFP professional is much greater. And the last one here is that 9 out of 10 Americans want fiduciary advisors who put their interests first when providing investment advice. Now, here's something I'd like you to be aware of, is that certified financial planners are fiduciaries. And what that means is that we are required to put our clients' interests first before our own. This is a very high standard, and it is not required by all financial advisors or those who are calling themselves financial planners, but who are not certified financial planners. And so what happens through this media campaign that the CFP board has had going for the past couple of years is that they're really educating the public about the difference between certified financial planners who are fiduciaries and those who are not certified financial planners who are not required to put their clients' interests first. And when the public sees the difference between working with CFPs versus working with non-CFPs, then they start to turn to CFPs more than other type of financial advisors, because we have found that fiduciary advice is something that the public is really looking for in their financial planners. So that's a lot of information that we've given you. We've given you a lot of statistics there, but really all of these statistics are coming from different areas, from Cerulli studies and the IKE Group and U.S. News and World Report and Indeed.com and CFP Board. So I just want you to be aware of the fact that all of these different surveys that are out there and all these different organizations looking at the benefits of certified financial planning certification is really remarkable to see that we really have this strong support for this profession, this young profession, and the public is demanding it. And so I just want you to be aware of the fact that these are all great statistics for you if this is something that you're looking to get involved in as a career change, or if you're already working in financial services and are considering getting the credential. It's all good news for you. Now, I'd also like to give you some career resources that are available to you too. First of all, whenever job postings come to the BU program, we will put them immediately up on the BU financial planning website. And we've given you that website information here. The reason that we do this is to let you be aware of the fact that firms, especially in the Boston area, want our students, want the BU students. We are one of the oldest programs in the country, and we are also ranked very highly. As a matter of fact, this past year, we got ranked as #2 in the country for the best online program. And that information is known to the financial service firms in the Boston area and even around the country. And so very often when they have job openings, they'll think of us first. We will post those openings on our website for you to take a look at. The other place that I want you to know that's available to you to go to is also the CFP Board's Career Center. And you can access them here. We have put down the CFP Board's website for you at cfp.net, and then you can further that and go to the Career Center, where you can look up information about the jobs that are in your area and in your state. And of course, jobs are posted all over the country. So if you're considering moving to, or if you're not from the Boston area, you'll be able to see jobs from whatever state you're from. What the CFP Board Career Center does for you is that it lets you post your resume up there for free, so that people will get a chance to see what you're all about, what you're looking for. And also it will allow you to apply for jobs and internships. And that's especially once you get your CFP, you'll be able to have all those services available to you. Another thing that I'd like you to be aware of too is that Boston University has a career night event every year, and we hold that in conjunction with the Boston chapter of the Financial Planning Association. And I can tell you this year it's coming up pretty soon. It's going to be at BU on November 14th. And you are all invited. This is a free event. It's a classy affair. What we do is we invite people from the financial planning community to come here so that they can network with our students. Our students get to meet people from the FPA and members of financial planning firms. We will also have financial planning firms being represented at this event, because they'll have tables there because they want to meet with you and potentially hire our students in the future. So we'll have anywhere generally from 10 to 15 of the employers in the Boston area will come to meet with our students. Not only that, but we'll have a group of panelists there who represent working in different segments of the financial planning field, and they're available to tell you a little bit about the jobs that they do. Some might work in brokerage firms, some might work in small financial planning firms, some might have started their own firm, some might work in banks. In other words, we try and get a mix of all the different types of job experiences that are either our former students or those in the community have, to come and talk to you about what skills are needed and what makes them be successful as certified financial planners. So all of that is coming up for you. And if that's not enough to entice you, we also have wonderful refreshments there too. So anyway, the point is, come and join us on November 14th. There'll be certainly information about it once you within our programs and on our websites. So anyway, we hope to see you there. Another thing that it would be really helpful for you to take a look at as well is that there are lots of mentoring programs now that are available to you, especially those who want to get involved in this field, or if you are a student and need some mentoring through about your curriculum choices or information about how to get started in the field, here are 3 different sets of mentoring programs that you should be aware of. The Financial Planning Association has one, NAPFA has one, and also the CFP board has something called the WIN mentoring program for women. So if you are interested in being mentored by other experienced CFP professionals, then please contact these different organizations and go on their websites and find out more about their mentoring programs. The other resource that's available to you is me. I'm the program director, and I've been working in the financial planning field for 25 years. We've been certainly working with our students to give them career advice and to put them on the right career path that's right for them. So if you ever want to contact me, you can do that through email. We could even set up a time to talk, but I want you to know that I'm very available to you to talk to you about some of the different ideas you have and help give you some guidance on what career path might be right for you and how to achieve it once you get your CFP. So again, we have all these resources available to you. They're not any good if you don't take a look at them. So we're hoping that if you're interested in this as a career, you'll check some of these out as well. And lastly, we have a slide here about creating your CFP board account. And the reason that I want you to do that, it's simple to do. I mean, all you have to do is go to the CFP board's website, which is www.cfp.net. And once you get to their website, you can set up your CFP board account, which only takes maybe a minute or 2 to do. It's really very quick. But what this account will do for you, it's going to give you access to a whole bunch of different things through CFP board. So first of all, you'll be able to get into the Career Center, which we just talked about, where you can find job openings in your area. Also, the CFP board has something called a candidate forum, and you could participate in that candidate forum as well. You would be able to now sign up for the WIN mentoring program, and also you would be able to find out about new CFP board news and anything that would start affecting becoming a CFP professional or your path to becoming a certified financial planner. So we want you to encourage you to spend a moment, go on the CFP board's website, set up your account, and then you have all those resources available to you through CFP board to help you in your career search and your path as a CFP professional. And with that, we just want you to be aware of the fact that if you have any questions and are considering registering for a program, you could contact the enrollment advisor team, and we have the email here, which is bostonuniversity@mindmax.net. We have the phone number of 617-502-8822, and the website, which is financialplanningonline.bu.edu. And again, we've given you the CFP board's website, www.cfp.net, so that you can take advantage of looking up all different types of information about becoming a CFP and also what's involved in the 4 steps of becoming a CFP too. And with that, I know I've been doing a lot of talking here, but we certainly are having this session for you today so that you can get your questions answered. So do you have any questions for me? If you do, you can ask a question by making a comment, typing in the question box that's located on the right-hand side of your screen. And we'll take your questions now.
Wonderful. Thank you, Carolyn, for that very informative display. Now we will dive into our questions and answers session, as Carolyn mentioned. We also are joined by Carrie Scott, our program enrollment advisor, who will be available to answer questions during this session if they are related to the actual BU course. All right, we have a couple of questions coming in now, so I'll dive right in here. Carolyn, first one for you here. Is an advisor always a planner, and vice versa? Is a planner always an advisor? I'm noticing at some of the wirehouse financial planning firms, they take a backseat to raising assets.
Yes, and you know something, what's happening that we've seen over time is that the terms financial advisor and financial planner sort of get they're interchangeable. And so some firms will say that their staff are financial advisors. Other ones will call them financial planners. So the term really can mean different things. You'll also see other terms too, like wealth advisors, wealth managers. They're all kind of part of the financial service industry. But the difference is those who are certified financial planners, those are the only ones that can call themselves certified financial planners if you have gone through the CFP board's 4-step process to become certified. So that will set you apart from those who just call themselves financial planners or financial advisors.
Wonderful. Thank you, Carolyn. Next question for you. How important is the Monte Carlo simulation for a good retirement plan? And that being the variable probability model that's used for financial prediction.
We actually, in our curriculum, we do go over the learning about Monte Carlo simulations because it's very important. You know, it's hard to predict what your future is going to be and what your future income is going to be reliably and what your future expenses are going to be and what the rate of inflation is going to be and interest rates and things of that nature. So what a Monte Carlo simulation will do for you is put in all different variables and will help you determine based on those variables, help you customize a retirement plan for you. And so it is a very valuable tool. If you do want to sign up for CFP certification and take education courses, you would learn all about Monte Carlo simulation and financial retirement planning through our retirement planning course.
Great, thank you. Our next question for you, Carolyn, do you have any suggestions for internships for financial planning? And do you think it is resourceful for students in undergrad?
That is such a great question to ask. I'm just going to tell you what's happening in the country right now, because what happens is it's really up to individual firms whether or not they want to have an internship program. There really isn't one specific internship program or a model of internship programs that are adopted by many financial planning firms. It's really an individual firm that will decide that they want to take on interns and train them. I can tell you that the companies that do take on interns, they benefit greatly from them because not only is the student, and generally it is a student or somebody new to the industry coming in looking to see if this is the right fit for them, they get the advantages of going through an internship program, but they're also helping the firm because the firm is bringing on new people with new interests, being eager to learn, and perhaps finding the right people that they want to hire in the future. And we find this so often is that interns are generally hired oftentimes by the company that they're working for. If it turned out to be a good fit for both parties, then oftentimes that will become future employment. What is also important about internships too is if you're considering this as a career change or getting into it as a brand new undergraduate who has just completed undergraduate studies and you graduated from college and looking at this as a new career, then internships would be very valuable to you because it would give you a sense of what it's really like to work in the financial planning field and working with clients, and you would learn so much doing it that way. And you could take an internship program along with getting your CFP education. They're not mutually exclusive, and as a matter of fact, it would probably benefit you to be in a CFP program while you do an internship as well, because you'd be putting into practice what you're learning in the classroom. So you might find internship programs through your FPA. You might find them on the CFP Board's Career Center website, but you really have to hunt for internship programs. We, at Boston University, we are always talking to companies and firms and trying to find out which ones are supporting internships, and we pass that information along to our students.
Great answer, thank you. Carolyn, what specialties within the CFP profession do you expect to grow most over the next 5 to 10 years?
Oh, gee, what a great question that is, too. Well, you know, let me explain that. When you talk about specialties in financial planning, you need to understand that financial planning is really made up of a whole bunch of different specialties. So here's basically what they are. You could do college planning. That would be one segment of it. Other people stick to just doing credit and debt management with, for their clients. Then risk management and insurance is a part of financial planning. Investment planning is a big piece of financial planning. Then you have personal income tax planning, retirement planning, and estate planning. Well, what's happening right now, if you're asking me today, I would tell you income tax planning and retirement planning are two of the more important subject areas within the CFP curriculum. And that's because we've just had a huge overhaul of our tax laws for 2018, and we're putting them into practice right now. And it affects not only income tax planning, but it affects estate planning, and it affects retirement planning as well. But you can also see with the demographics in our country, we do have an aging population. And so retirement planning advice is also something that is driving people to look for certified financial planners. So if I were starting out, if I were going to concentrate on certain areas, perhaps interweaving the income tax planning with the retirement planning would be successful for now and probably into the future.
Wonderful. Thank you, Carolyn. Our next question comes in. What are the pros and cons of your online program versus traditional education programs?
That's a hard one that's subjective, so it's really hard to say. What I think is really terrific about our online program is that we have looked at the curriculum and made sure that all of the curriculum matches what the CFP board expects the student to know. So not only do we cover all of the topics that the board has, but we cover as many of the learning objectives that we possibly can within our online program. And our online program curriculum has been designed to help our students become successful. And I think that is really why Boston University is one of the top 4 schools in the country for getting students to sit for the CFP board's exam, is because our students are successful when they take that exam. Not only that, but our curriculum too has been it's been designed by financial planning instructors who have worked for many, many years in this field. And so they really know what the students need to know and how to get that information across to them. So I think what we're really proud about with our online program is the fact that the curriculum is so well put together, so well developed, so well organized, that it's easy for students to learn. We also have a lot of interesting aspects of our curriculum too. We have videos in there with practitioner advice so that people who are practicing in the field will come on and tell you why this is important and how they use it in their own personal practices, so that you're not just learning our information from an academic standpoint. There's a greater emphasis on how you would use it in practice. And I think people will also be very pleased to find that all of the curriculum is something that has been streamlined so that it's really highly effective, so that you're not wasting your time learning information that you really don't need to know. So I think that we have an outstanding curriculum for the online program, and we would certainly invite you to take a look.
Thank you, Carolyn. And this is Carrie. I just wanted to add one quick thing. I often hear this question asked to us regarding an online program versus a traditional program. And I really do like to turn the question back to you and ask you, what type of learner are you? And I ask that question because BU does offer an online program and an in-classroom traditional program. So we do have both available. If you're an online person and you like to, study at all hours, maybe it's in the morning, maybe it's at night, certainly online is conducive to that. If you live right around the corner and you prefer to come to campus, we welcome you on campus as well. Certainly we can talk in much further detail, but I just want to make sure that everyone knows BU does offer both online and in the classroom. And really, again, ask yourself, will you be more successful by having to come in, for example, on Tuesdays and Thursdays at 6 p.m. Or again, are you a self-motivated person who prefers to log on your own schedule and, for instance, doesn't want to fight the Red Sox traffic?
Good point.
There you go.
And also, just to let you know too, if you identify yourself as an online learner and are interested in the online program, we have lots of instructor support available to you as well. So we have a facilitator, so that if you are going through your studies and you have a question, you can stop right then and there, shoot off a question by email to that facilitator and get that question answered. And then we also have webinars every 2 weeks too, which are instructor-led webinars, so that you can get questions answered as well. And we have them on topics of interest that you might be interested in too. So anyway, we do have personal touches here, but it is a self-paced program. It is not instructor-led, but you have the ability to have access to instructors and get your questions answered.
Wonderful. Thank you both. At this time, we have about 5 minutes or so left for questions, so we'll take a few more here for Carolyn and Carrie. Carolyn, next question is, are there additional certifications or CEUs required to take later after this program?
What there are continuing education requirements through the CFP board. So what would happen is, once you finally become a CFP, then the CFP board requires that every 2 years that you have 30 hours of continuing education credits. And 2 of them have to be in the CFP board's ethics and their code of conduct and professional responsibility. So it's very, very easy to get your credits. As a matter of fact, this happens to me all the time. I always have way too many credits when I go to renew my CFP board certification every 2 years. So they're simple to get. Oftentimes they're for free. You can sit in front of your computer, and they have webinars that you can listen to and log in on. Many, many different ways to do that. You can go to conferences to get your CE credits. You can read books to get your CE credits. There's a variety of ways available out there. It is not a burden for those who are CFPs to get this amount of credit hours. 30 really is a drop in the bucket.
Great, thank you. And Carolyn, this next person says they are told that the College of Financial Planning in Colorado writes the CFP exam and has a higher pass rate than any other program. Is this true, and can you debunk that for us, please?
I certainly can't comment on the marketing claims that other programs make. So there's nothing that I could really say about the college. But I can tell you that the college was probably the very first education outlet that was available, and it was part of around the same time that Boston University program was being developed. And so they have been around for a long time, but I really do not know what their statistics are.
Okay, great. Thank you. This next question is from a college student, and they're looking at future career options and interested in financial planning. Apart from the mentorship programs, is there anything else, such as readings, classes, or even internship experience, that you can recommend for young people looking into the CFP profession?
what I would say to anybody is take the first course in financial planning. What it is, it's called the Introduction to Financial Planning. And obviously we offer this, in the online program, and we also offer it in the classroom program too. But I just want you to be aware that this is really going to give you a great sense of what financial planning is all about. And it's not a very difficult course to take, although it does get into, the complexities of financial management and debt management and credit management and housing and things of that nature, and college planning and college debt planning, which you might be interested in learning about. But the point is this: you will not only learn a lot about financial planning and what the profession is, but you will help yourself in the future. It is never a wasted course to take because the lessons that you learn from the first introductory course, you can stay with you throughout your life and help you make better financial decisions throughout your entire life. And what else is out there that could prepare you for a lifetime of good financial planning decisions? So I would say jump into that. You could do that. You could look at financial planning firms. You could look at internships. You could do all these things all at once, but it would give you a better sense of what the profession is.
Wonderful, thank you. And would you encourage someone in their late 40s to start the CFP program working toward a career change, or do you think it's too late to start a career in this field?
That's always a hard question to answer. I can tell you that for myself, I started in my early 40s as a career changer in financial planning. I never had any thought of changing my career. So, life happens and things change. I've certainly been able to forge my own path and do the things that I wanted to do within this field because the opportunities in this field are so great. So it's really up to you to decide whether or not this is something that you'd want to switch over into. But I think I would give you also the same advice, would be to take an introduction to financial planning course and get a sense of what it's all about. Because yes, there are many, many career opportunities right now, and it's a growing field. What will happen is some firms will value hiring people who have life experience, just like their clients do, and would be able to relate to clients very well. And other firms are looking to hire younger individuals that they can mold and train and get them to, work within their the way that they want them to. So there's different firms out there looking for different types of people of different ages, different genders, different diversity backgrounds. So I would just say to you, take your first course and see if that's right for you.
Great, thank you. And our last question for today, as we're just reaching the top of the 3 o'clock hour, for you, Carolyn, is: do you see people from corporate, such as business managers, who are switching careers to financial planners, and is this advisable?
Well, I can tell you I definitely see that because at Boston University, we don't really know specifically what our percentages are, but we make up somewhere probably about 35 to 45% of our students are career changers. And so many of them have been in the corporate field. They've been in the engineering field. Some of them have been teachers. They come from all different types of backgrounds, some from nonprofit organizations. So it's really quite a mix of people that are looking for their CFP certification. And so it's really up to the individual what their specific career needs are and what it is that's driving them to look into CFP certification. But if there are any people who are listening to this webinar today who would like to have a little bit of career advice, please don't hesitate to reach out to me. It's hard to talk in general about some of these things. It's better to know a little bit about you and your circumstances to be able to help guide you too.
Thank you so much, Carolyn. We had a lot of wonderful questions coming in today. Unfortunately, just because of time, we weren't able to get to all of them. But I do want to remind all of our attendees that a recorded version of this webinar will be sent within the next few days for your reference and to share with your colleagues if you wish to do so. So please keep on the lookout for that. And I'd like to just thank everyone for joining and have a wonderful rest of your day. And thank you, Carolyn and Carrie.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everyone.